Hey guys, so here we are. We're about to discuss your goals path. A quick quote I have here for you from Joe Vitale is a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Keep that in mind as we go over this content here, okay? So, a quick overview of what we'll be covering is what is a goals path, how to apply it, and then I'll give you some tools to get shit done. So, let's get started. The simplified version of this goal path is as following. First, you have some wishes and desires. You have that little thought, that little feeling of, man, I wish I could have that, right? Which then turns your mind into a vision or focus rather to head into the direction of your desires. The next thing that comes along is your actions. You take action on that desire, and the results that you get from that action form your beliefs, whether it's good or bad. Okay, so now let's look at it a little bit more in detail. This is the full example of it, but at first you have a wish or the desire, right? So that little thought that comes to you, that little feeling that you have of, hey, I want this thing. So the most important part of this is the acknowledgement piece. The part I want to give you here is because some guys can't be they can't acknowledge this, they can't be blunt or truthful to themselves, so they kind of, the feeling comes along and then you kind of shove it back down or let it pass away as if you don't want it, right? So unless you acknowledge this, it's going to be hard to take that step forward into getting the things that you want. So the acknowledgement piece is a little interesting and important here. So once you take that step forward, it gives you a direction of where you're headed to get to that goal or wish or desire, right? So the thing that you want to do here is you either take action or you approach and learn, or you can learn and then approach. So either way, it's fine. I'm not judgmental. Usually there are separate types of people. Some people who rather approach and learn from their actions, and some people would rather sit back, read a few books on it, and then approach. So then after this direction, you have to make some goals, right, to get the thing that you want. So once you make these goals, understand that the more details you put these goals, the better it is for you. And once we have these goals, this moves you forward into having a vision. The beauty about a vision or a focus is that it not only tells you what actions you should take, but also tells you what actions not to take, right? So think about someone like Michael Jordan. So actions he should take to be a champion maybe is something like practicing, going to bed early, hitting the gym. Actions he shouldn't take, maybe it's partying or slacking off and not hitting the gym and things like that. So whenever you have a vision or a focus, the beauty about this is that it not only gives you the actions, but also the non-actions, things not to do. So once you take action, this gives you experience, whether you want to call it reference experience or not. There's this beautiful quote that I heard in a movie that says, good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from making bad decisions. So this is basically to tell you that to get great experience or understand good decisions, you have to kind of mess up at first. So I want you to focus on this because I don't want you to be afraid when making mistakes and things like that. Okay, so once you have this experience, whether good or bad, the last step here is it reinforces your beliefs, your belief system. Either it's good or bad, right? So you might have a bad experience of this, and that bad experience might make you think now that this action is bad, so therefore you won't do it anymore. So keep that in mind. So now let's get to how to apply this. So first I want you to write down a list of all your desires, a list of all your goals. From my understanding, blue pen, white paper works best. And for this list, I want you to do the following. I want you to be blunt. A lot of guys I've helped throughout the years, they have self-judgment. And even though they really want something, they won't write it down because either they think it's too silly or they think they can never get it. So remove any self-judgment or disbelief that you might have. The next thing here is to think big. So the reason that we want to think big is that anytime there's a desire, there's also always going to be a cost to it. And we'll go over that in a second here. But make sure whatever that desire is so big that it might trump any of your fears or doubts. Now, if you have a desire, the way to think bigger is ask the following question. Is that really all you want? Can I get a little bit more, right? So maybe financially, you might want $100. Then maybe you can ask, hey, like, why not 1,000? Why not 10,000? Why not 1,000,000? Right? So this is an easy way of thinking bigger. The last part here is no limits. You are your own limit, meaning a lot of times your disbeliefs, your self-judgments cause us to not think beyond our limits. So the way I want you to think of this is act like a kid again. Start imagining the same way you did when you wanted to become an astronaut. Think big, have no limits, and be blunt. So the next thing that we want to do with these desires and beliefs is to shortcut it. I don't want you to take the long path, right? Because there's someone out there that has what you want, and maybe they took 30 years to get it, 20 years to get it, or 10 years to get it. I don't want you to go through all of that to get it. So what I want is for you to shortcut it. So we're going to do something called modeling. So for that, we want to ask yourself, right? Ask, who has the things that I want already? And for that, I want you to list the people and exactly what they have that you want, right? So if it's a Lamborghini, maybe you list down Tai Lopez or someone else that has one even nicer that you like, and then list exactly what parts of that car you like. Is it the color, the detailing, the way he did the specs or upgrades, the rims on it? So be specific and very detailed. The next step here is, how did they get it? So what characteristics do they have? What values do they hold? What jobs did they have to get these things? What else, what type of cost did they have to pay? Right? So financially, did they have to pay for it? Did they have to lose something? Did they have to stop doing something? So I'm pretty sure I could tell you from Tai Lopez's standpoint, he stopped watching TV and started reading more books. So in that case, the cost of having all those things that he wanted, the thing that he had to pay for, is he had to lose sitting out partying over the weekends and started reading books and trying things and getting mentors. So what cost comes with that thing that you desire? And the more you can do it, the quicker you can get this thing. The last piece to it here is, how can I get it, right? And the best answer I've had for this is get mentorship, either by books, videos, courses, seminars, whatever the case. The more of these you do, the more you educate yourself, and the quicker you can come to your goals and wishes and desires. The last piece here I want to leave with you is to prepare. A lot of people want something, but they never prepare for it, right? So if I want to go climb Mount Everest, it would be hard for me to just walk up there and try to get to the top. I have to prepare for this, both in a physical shape, also get tools, knowledge, a team, and things like that. So when preparing for our wishes and desires, our goal path, a good thing to prepare for is fear. How do I remove this fear? Again, pen and paper works best. So the one thing that I found, there's many ways of doing this, but the one thing that I found that's consistent in all my mentors, all the people who have made it big, is the following. Dream big. Your dreams should be so big that your fears don't even matter anymore, because the reward or the result make that fear worth it. Meaning, if you're only here wishing for $1 and you have to walk over fire for it, it might not make that much sense to burn yourself or go through that pain to get that $1. But if you make it bigger, if you make your goals and dreams even bigger, then that pain might be worth going through so that you can get these results. Another way to prepare here is to prepare for doubts. We all have them, self-doubts, and society and our families and friends put doubts in us, but we want to prepare for that. And a good way to do it is by finding a model. When you find someone who's done it already, this is a true example that it can be had, meaning anyone in the world can have it as well, and they show you the path they took to get it. So again, reading books, watching videos, going to seminars, courses, mentorship programs. A lot of these guys nowadays have their mentorship programs, and what they do is they teach you how they got it. So those are good ways of going about it. And understand, right? A lot of people want that private session, that private one-on-one. Understand that their goal is to help as many people as possible. So instead of just focusing or saying, hey, I give up because this person won't give me the time of day, understand that they wrote a book because millions of people can buy that book. They made a video so that millions of people can watch it. So instead of being a little bit selfish and only wanting the time to yourself, maybe, just maybe, support them by buying that book or watching that video or joining their seminar or courses or mentorship program. The last thing here I want to share with you is focus. A lot of guys, especially young ones, tend to give up way too easily, man. So what I want to share with you here is maybe you're 20 years old, right? That's a good midpoint. So at 20, maybe you have had, let's say, 15 or 12 years of doing the wrong thing. And all of a sudden, these guys come and 2 weeks of trying the new thing that should work, they try it for 2 weeks and all of a sudden they're tired because it doesn't work. Understand that you're now fighting 12 years, 10 years of bad habits and doing things the wrong way that now you have to try to correct or fix to get the right results. So I want to share this with you because I want you to stay the course. I want you to keep going, because if someone else can have it and if that's the way they got it, you should have it as well. So please understand, do not quit. So I want to share with you this this quote by Denzel Washington, which goes, "Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment." So if you think about this quote, right? Anytime that you have a dream that you don't set a goal to, you don't take action on, you tend to get disappointed because now you don't feel like you can have it as well. So keep that in mind moving forward. In conclusion here, basically we went over so far what the goal path is and how to apply it, what actions to take to do it. But what we're missing is the action items, okay? So here it is. So the first action item here is to click the link below. I have a free download for you. No email needed, no sign up, no credit card, no $1, no 1 cent payment. Literally, it is the pieces of this, the slides that you just saw. I want to share the visuals with you because visual representation of an idea is very powerful, and they are reminders to the key points that was presented in this video. So I want you to click that download button as soon as you can. You will get the most important pieces of this, like the quotes that we went over, so that you can put it on your desktop, put it on your screensaver, print it out, put it in your room as a reminder of what to do so that you can reach your goals. The next thing that I want to do for action items here is to follow through with the action items that we went over previously, which are the ways of getting through it, right? And then there's also a next video here for you to watch, which at your discretion, feel free to go through it. I wanted to make sure I leave you with actual value and not just take your time. So thank you for watching. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with this quote by Jim Rohn, which says, "You can't hit a target you never set." I hope that you get out there and crush it and get all your dreams and goals. Have a great day.